Hi, I'm JP from Langley Distribution. I'd like to quickly show you our range of Digi scales, but just before I start going through the range, I'd like to give you a bit of background. As you may or may not be aware, we've been selling CAS scales since 1995. In 2013, we sold in excess of 2,000 CAS retail scales throughout the UK and Ireland. Accordingly, we have no intention whatsoever to cease importation of CAS product. However, in September 2013, Digi approached us and asked us to become a reseller. Digi are the largest scale company in the world, so after full evaluation and a trip to China, we decided to accept and become the exclusive importer of Digi scales within the UK, excluding Northern Ireland. Herbert's will continue being the sole importer of their industrial weighing equipment. Through this move, we hope to offer our resellers a wider range of scales, ensuring that they have something different to offer every sector of the market. From market stall traders requiring a battery-powered scale, to farm shops and butchers requiring linked, all-singing, all-dancing, video-playing scales with back-office software. So why should you consider taking on Digi scales? Langley's won't permit dealers putting prices on their websites and the internet, so end users can't buy from internet vendors. Thus, the dealer's job and added value is maintained. The price is right. You will achieve decent margins with Digi scales. We feel that we have priced the scales cheaper than the equivalents from the likes of competitors such as Evie, Bizerba and O-House. Many of these companies have confusing pricing structures where you have to add software, the utility and various other essentials that are charged for separately. Digi scales look the part and offer numerous features that other brands do not. Langley's will support the dealer. One-on-one training is available at our premises or at yours. When setting up your first couple of installs, you may talk directly with Digi technicians in China. And what could be better than that? These are the guys that wrote or were involved in developing the software. Langley's will not sell these scales to a dealer in close proximity to you. It's not beneficial for anyone for our dealers to step on each other's toes. So if you agree to take on the Digi product, then we will give you your own designated area. It's important to get in sooner than later as areas are being snapped up fast, particularly in the northwest and the southeast. Digi scales are built from extremely high quality materials. When I was in China as part of my training, I had to take each model apart and put it back together again. It was at this point that I personally noticed the quality of each component. A small point, but Digi have thought of things like a wire mesh over any gaps, preventing the insects from crawling in there when they're attracted to the heat the scale gives off. All Digi product is guaranteed by Langley's for 12 months. Last but not least, Digi scales are currently being used by Royal Mail, the Post Office, Costco, the Co-op, North West and Midlands, Sainsbury's and Tesco's. I don't think you could ask for better referrals than these. To put it bluntly, Tesco's rarely make mistakes. The purpose of this video is to make you aware of the important features of these scales and give you an overview of the range. Okay, the first scale that I want to talk a little bit about is the RM60. Initially, we were unsure that there would be a market for this scale in the UK. However, after speaking with various dealers, we feel that there definitely is. The scale has a 12-hour battery life, making it perfect for market stall traders and mobile users. A high-speed thermal printer is built in and you can have store names and messages on your receipt. You can attach a scanner for non-weighed items and a cash drawer should you wish. It has a USB port for easy price changes. Through standard Ethernet, interscale and store controller communication is readily available. Alternatively, this can be done wirelessly. The next scale that I'd like to show you is the SM100 with pole display. This model has 56 keys. However, you can program 3 PLUs to the same shortcut key and it can be pulled up by tapping the key once, twice or 3 times. Many dealers don't like this as mistakes become more frequent, but it's a nice feature to have. Changing the thermal paper roll is extremely easy and can be done by removing the cassette through a large opening in the side of the scale. This scale is compatible with label and receipt, as many users like to label their goods in the morning and then use the scale to print receipts for customers throughout the day. The scale is capable of printing full ingredients and cooking instructions. The next scale that I would like to show you is the 5100 with pole display. Although the buttons are positioned differently, they are the same as on the SM100. Both scales support functions such as floating clerk, server client traceability, nutritional facts, printing, and a GS1 data bar. There are numerous slightly different variations available, such as bench, pole, elevated, self-service, and hanging types of the 5100. We feel that they are an attractive scale suited to the professional and high-class market. They have an anti-sticking housing to avoid the label sticking and water-resistant keyboard. Again, the printer can be used for both label and receipt printing. Simply replace the cassette and select the option that you want, and the scale will do the rest for you. Although the labels are limited to 57mm in width, the length of the label can be any size. Langley's currently offer 60, 75 and 122mm label lengths. The gap sensor will automatically work out which label is inserted and will adjust print accordingly. Wi-Fi or LAN are optional for data sending or receiving. There is normally 5,000 to 7,000 PLUs for the standard 2M memories. However, 4M and 8M are optional. The scale supports RS-232 Ethernet cache draw interfaces. Both scales can support company logos. All you need to do is to put your customer's JPEG logo into Photoshop or even Paint and save it as a monochrome bitmap file. Once it is in this format, it can be easily imported onto the scale. Both the SM100 and SM5100 I've just showed you can be programmed manually on the scale. However, most people would prefer to use the free, easy to install utility called LabelNet. Simply connect the scale to your computer via serial port. Here you select the barcode type and label type. It's easy to add your PLUs and the data relating to that PLU. Then click on Update and save your changes. You have the option to import or export PLU data, making the process less time consuming. You can edit the label format and simply tick which data you want to be shown on the label. Then choose where you want it to be located on the label. If you had a machine attached, then you can simply send data to that machine. Okay, the final scale that I'd like to show you is the Digi 5800 EV Plus. This is the Rolls-Royce of the Digi range. I can see a real market for these in butchers, grocery stores and in farm shops. They use this model in the larger Tesco stores. Here's a couple of pictures I took in my local store in Stourbridge. This is a Windows-based scale, so I personally find it very easy to use and program. Another benefit of having a Windows-based scale is that you can install TeamViewer and log in remotely should any problems arise, saving you the time and hassle of travelling out to your customer. One of the main things that you will first notice is the 12-inch customer-facing screen on the back. You simply drag and drop video or image files into the media folder on the scale to play these back. You can either have your transactions appearing in half of the window or have the video playing full screen. We feel that this is a huge selling feature, as end users can visually and audibly make customers and queuing customers, a captive audience, aware of various offers, or even give them an idea for recipes, encouraging them to make more purchases of the required items. I believe one end user rents out the video space to a local taxi company. This particular scale has an 80mm thermal printer and label printer. However, there are 9 variations of this model, so if you just require a receipt or label printer, or perhaps just want a 10-inch or 8-inch screen, a numeric display, as Tesco's use, or even just a 2-line rear display, this can be catered for. The terminal has various interfaces for physical printer, scanner, card reader, keyboard and mouse. The software on the scale is called Max POS, and this comes included in the price, along with Windows and your Windows license. This is extremely user-friendly software. However, I know some dealers have mentioned developing their own software for use on the scale, which is absolutely fine. Windows fonts can be printed for label printer scale, which is a nice feature to have. Unlike many of Digi's competitors, the software allows you to quickly and easily set up mix and match offers. The scale offers membership and loyalty features. The scale also offers different levels of member authority to guarantee data security. If dealers are selling to a smaller shop, then they should emphasise the space saved physically. Users no longer require a till or EPOS terminal, a scale and a printer, as it is all catered for in this one model. Okay, the back office software is available on this scale and it's called Max Chain. Although there is not much data in this test site, it should give you a rough idea of what the software offers. You can see your top 10 bestsellers in each store and your trend report of monthly turnover. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go into every option in detail, but you can see the various options across the bottom of the screen. Along the side, you can manage your stores and also all of your purchase orders and inventory. You can also assign certain proportions of an order to different stores. That's what distribute management is all about. Here you can see the various stores set up on the test site. At the moment, the store names are gibberish, as this is simply a test site, but you can go into each of these stores and monitor their individual performance. Data can be imported and exported in Excel or CSV format. This scaling software has very strong report and inventory functions. Wi-Fi, LAN and 3G are optional. There's been over 10,000 sales of the 5800 units worldwide before 2014. So this is a tried and tested product. If you like what you've seen in this video and would like to become a Digi dealer or want to find out a little bit more about these scales, then please contact me.